Jesus fucking Christ, where are they? I've been waiting an hour for these two idiots to show up.
Hey there, Obama. Sorry about that. I was busy getting some chocolate chip ice cream.
Joe, I've been waiting an hour. Did you eat the entire container?
Bro, we were up for 3 days playing Final Fantasy XIV, trying to catch Donald and Bush up. I needed that stuff.
Couldn't you just go to sleep at a normal time like a regular person?
Normal? Since when have we ever slept at a normal time? We practically live our lives on our computers.
What do you want, Barack? I'm busy working on my re-election campaign.
I smell bullshit, I know damn well, Donald. You haven't left your gaming room in at least a week.
No, I'm serious. I did work on it.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit. We were on Final Fantasy the entire time.
Oh, look who it is. It's the century-old mole rat. Go back to bed now, Sleepy Joe. The adults are talking.
You're 4 years behind Joe, Donald. You're not faring any better than he is.
At least I don't look like my high school date to prom was Cleopatra.
Well, at least I don't look like I just finished servicing the Cheetos mascot.
I don't care what universe you're from. That's gotta hurt.
Let's just get started. What are we doing, Obama?
We're going to be ranking Godzilla films, starting with the Showa Era, and then start working our way down the list.
Oh, hell yeah.
It must be a rare occasion because I agree with Joe for once.
First up to plate, the OG Godzilla, or Gojira for us men of culture.
Easiest G tier ever. The film is perfect.
I gotta agree. Slap that baby right into G tier.
G tier right out of the gate. I guess Godzilla Raids Again is next.
Regretfully, yes, how far the king fell here. You just want to throw it in D tier and call it a day?
Yes.
That's what we like to see.
What's next? Is that Godzilla versus King Kong?
One of the better films in this overall mediocre era of Godzilla.
This list just fell apart faster than Russia's military.
And why is that, Donald?
Really, Barack? You need me to explain a simple reason to you? 2 cuts of the film were needed to fix the plot holes.
Donald, that was not because of plot holes. It was because of 2 studios butting heads with each other. Similar to you and Joe, practically every other minute.
Oh, come on, man. Why'd you got to throw me under the bus like that?
Am I wrong, though, Joe?
No, you're not, Obama.
Donald, if you were here right now, I'd put your head through a fucking door.
Can it be the refrigerator door at least?
You're proving my point, Joe. Anyway, this film is kind of bad regardless. I'm thinking D tier again.
I agree with that. Throw this steamy garbage where it belongs.
Barack, D tier is too harsh. You're overlooking a critical detail about this movie.
What's so important about this film? It's bad. Barack said it himself.
Hold up there a second. Mr. Orange Man, let Joe cook.
I swear, if Joe burns down the kitchen again, I'm putting my foot up your ass.
Joe, continue. What detail did I miss?
Technically, too. Without this film and King Kong, Godzilla may never have gotten all the sequels he has due to low popularity at the time. Also, it's the first Godzilla film in color.
You know what? I think that's a valid point. You think a B tier would be more fair?
B tier sounds better. I'm fine with that.
K looks like Godzilla versus King Kong is now a B. Up next is Godzilla versus Mothra.
Finally, something within my area of expertise.
What the fuck does that mean, Donald?
Oh boy, I know where this is going.
Barack the fairies make the whole film. They're adorable.
How many watch lists do you think he just got placed on?
Probably none, since he's already on every single one.
Hey, it's not my fault.
Donald, I'm stopping you right there before you get us canceled.
Hey, I was just going to talk about that businessman trying to get monetary gain from the Mothra egg.
Uh-huh, sure you were.
What the fuck does that mean, Barack?
Means I think you're a fucking perv.
This movie didn't really do anything new, but it did refine the formula of Godzilla into the gold standard for the rest of the series.
So what are we thinking? An A tier?
Special effects are great. Godzilla is great. Fights are great. Music is God tier. Bless you, Akira, for such a wonderful masterpiece.
I don't know. I'm thinking B tier again. The larva fight is such a step down from the fight with adult Mothra.
Oh, I forgot about that. And don't get me started on the human subplot in the 3rd act. Should have just left them kids to get radiation sickness.
You deserve a bullet just for saying that.
I agree with everything Donald listed. All of those aspects are great, but the movie just lost steam after the adult Mothra fight.
The film is A tier for the fairies alone.
Enough of the fairies, goddammit, it's going in B tier.
Ebirah Horror of the Deep is next, I take it?
You mean the film that gave me the 3rd strongest urge to blow my brains on the wall?
Only 3rd?
Not gonna lie, I agree with Donald. This movie is a pretty low point for the Showa era considering its other entries.
Story is bad. Ebirah isn't intimidating, and Godzilla's design looks terrible.
E tier then, because F tier is reserved for those films.
Oh boy, let's talk about Son of Godzilla.
Falling down the stairs of Air Force One was more fun than this.
Ooh, self-burn, those are rare.
Godzilla was way too expressive in this film. It feels like this was supposed to be a King Kong film, but they just decided fuck it and put Godzilla in instead.
Are we going to acknowledge?
Hell no.
Okay then.
Oh hell yeah, Destroy All Monsters, my favorite Showa film.
A great film to just turn your brain off and watch some kaiju fight each other and destroy stuff.
The alien and human subplot was all right and handled relatively well, though they loved using that space jet a lot.
Also, that scene where the guy ripped off that lady's earrings actually looked real. I felt that.
After Son of Godzilla, Toho knew that Godzilla was declining, so they decided to go out with a bang, and this is the result. A monsters-filled Bonanza Bash.
Hey, that sounds a lot like the end of your...
Joe, don't you dare finish that sentence.
It's a great film action-wise, but the human story does hold it back from being S tier. I think an A tier is better.
I agree with A tier.
No objections here. A tier is fine.
Do I even have to explain this next one? Giant monsters attack goes straight to F tier.
Ah, yes, the second strongest urge to take a 12 gauge straight to my head.
What Godzilla movie could possibly be worse than this?
We'll get there soon enough.
Godzilla versus the smog monster.
This is the film equivalent of the word average. Story is average, monsters are average, fights are average. I'd say C tier.
Donald pretty much summed it up nicely.
Okay, looks like a C tier then.
Godzilla versus Gigan is up next. Honestly, I like Gigan as a character, but it sucks his introduction was in this train wreck of a movie.
What was Toho smoking when they decided to make them talk?
I could ask the same thing about you, Donald.
Why? You're blessed with my sacred words of wisdom and courage.
Your words are verbal cancer that corrupts and sickens everyone that hears them.
Who?
Half of America for starters.
No, who asked?
God damn it.
That was fucking funny.
Indeed it was, Barack.
Back on topic, you guys remember the roars for Godzilla?
Like teacher's nails on a chalkboard.
Like my grandma who smoked 3 packs a day.
Who?
The one from my mom's side.
No, who asked?
Fuck, I set myself up for that one.
The only reason I'm giving this film a D tier is because it introduced Gigan, arguably one of Godzilla's best villains. That is the only reason. If it wasn't for him, it would be E tier.
Now we get to talk about the dumpster fire that is Godzilla versus Megalon.
God, this film just sucks ass. There's no other way to spin it. It adds nothing new aside from the kaiju, and even they are mediocre at best.
By this time in Japan, TV was becoming more mainstream for adult entertainment. So the only film audience left was kids.
How do you know that, Joe? Did you follow some to the theater?
Uncalled for, Donald.
Baraki was practically sniffing that senator's daughter.
Trump, you're friends with Epstein. You don't have the moral high ground here.
Yes, I do.
Neither of you do because you're both weird as fuck. Now let's get back to ranking the film, please.
Chuck it into E tier. We've stated pretty much everything wrong with it.
Not everything. We didn't mention Joe's robot friend, Jet Jaguar.
Barack, you better hold me back before I beat the bricks off this walking apology from the abortion clinic.
Both of you need counseling. The film's going into E tier.
Ah, yes, the first Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, a timeless classic.
After some of the garbage that was being churned out, this movie is a breath of fresh air.
While slightly lacking in human story, the fight scenes are magnificent. And Godzilla ripping off Mechagodzilla's head is an icon of this era.
I say it's worthy of S tier.
Donald, it's a good film, but it's not an S tier. It has problems that hold it back.
The human story is almost too bland, and the alien trope had been done before. Also, the other kaiju, King Caesar, was lacking, and I felt it didn't really go anywhere.
It's not an S tier, but I also can't give it an A in good faith because of that ass bowl involving magnets that Godzilla did.
Put it at the top of B tier. I think that's fair. Donald?
No comment.
Looks like we've arrived at the end of the Showa Era. Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Why does this film exist? They could have ended it perfectly with Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
You're a so-called businessman. Figure it out.
This film had the potential to be good and tell an interesting story, but it felt so slow because of the half-flushed-out ideas. I say C tier.
This was Toho's attempt at bringing Godzilla back from the campiness that defined it for so long. But it failed, thus marking the end of the Showa Era.
I will give it credit where it's due. The monster action is spectacular, and bringing back Ishiro Honda and Akira Ifukube definitely helped.
Overall, it's an okay film, but it definitely falls short compared to previous Showa entries. D tier is my vote.
Looks like it's a D tier then. Overall, most of the Showa films were either very good or very meh, with a few gems and hunks of shit outside of that.
Looks like that's the entire Showa Era done. I enjoyed that.
I'm surprised Sleepy Joe actually made it without falling asleep.
Even when we're done, you still find a way to insult Joe, huh, Donald?
Hey, come on, you know I'm only joking.
I see you guys. I'm off. Jill's getting cranky, and I said I'd take her out for dinner.
Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we all go out with each other and our wives for a big get-together?
What do you want to do, Donald? Start World War III?
Right on the money, Barack.
Well, what the fuck are we waiting for in this VC? Let's go have some fun.